Queen Elizabeth's birth was probably announced via a telegram and her death via a tweet.
There's probably a bunch of people on the internet glued on their computer to try be one of the first to break the passing of Queen Elizabeth.
Social media has made high school reunions unnecessary.
News broadcasters changing their attire to report the death of the Queen, but not regular citizens during mass attacks, just shows how culture and hierarchy hasn't progressed all that much from the medieval times.
The Queen saw over a third of U.S. history.
It's so very satisfying having a song finish just as you park up.
In a flock of black sheep, a white sheep is a black sheep.
The Little Mermaid must have pooped herself at least once or twice while getting used to her legs.
Let's all have a moment of silence for all those brave men and women who sacrificed their lives figuring out which fruits and vegetables were edible.
The Queen may be the first British monarch ever to have their funeral streamed on Twitch.
Our parents and grandparents had nowhere near the amount of complexity and competition to deal with in their careers as we do.
A lot of people will never marry because they have bad social anxiety.
Bond 26 will be the first James Bond film where he officially serves a king.
Queen Elizabeth II was probably the most photographed person to ever live.
In the history of humankind, more humans probably had a miserable, shitty life than those who had a satisfying, fantastic existence.
Every Little Debbie snack basically has the same ingredients, just made into different shapes and colors.
You can work all day long, but if they see you laying on the couch, well then you're obviously lazy.
Most people are idiots.
Songs you like hit different when played random on radio.
Now for a quick break, stay tuned for more shower thoughts. Something that tastes tasty is good, but something that smells smelly is not.
When people ask for advice, they don't want your advice, they just want validation for their opinion.
There's going to be a giant surge in girls named Elizabeth in the next several years.
When a raindrop falls on us, it's actually sniping us from over 3,000 meters above.
Hearing about the Queen's death feels like seeing that your old school has been torn down. The building wasn't the greatest, some teachers sucked, but it has just always been there.
Watermelon is the perfect food when you're thirsty. Rich people dying is proof immortality is still impossible.
There are probably journalists who wrote Queen obituaries and passed before she did.
Your attitude about weather conditions often affects you more than the weather itself.
Giving a book as a present is a great idea. You can read it yourself before wrapping it up.
I'm Bob Jeffy.
And I'm Lorelei Stewart. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back tomorrow with more shower thoughts. Bye for now.
This podcast was produced by Klassic Studios. Please see the show notes page for source credits.